Now, as the war in West Asia explodes further, perhaps the first signs of a fissure in Iran's leadership has been in talks. A dispute over President Pezeshkian's pledge not to strike Gulf states is exposing divisions, but Tehran insists that it stands united. Reports citing sources close to Iranian leadership say that there are visible signs of divisions between hardliners and more pragmatic factions. Pezeshkian's apology to Gulf states for attacks on their territory and his pledge to rein in such attacks has prompted pushback, especially from the Revolutionary Guards and clerical elite. In a direct attack, hardline cleric and lawmaker Hamid Rasai addressed the president on social media, saying your stance was unprofessional, weak, and unacceptable. The judiciary chief, Ghulam Hossein Mohseni, who is part of the Temporary Leadership Council with Pezeshkian, also struck a different note. He said some regional states had allowed their territory to be used for attacks, and heavy strikes on those targets will continue. While such reactions seem to have forced Pezeshkian into a partial climb down, the president later repeated his earlier statement on social media but left out the apology. But it remains to be seen if the divide is over the strategic approach or just over Pezeshkian's recent statement. There is a feeling that Pezeshkian, who is not known as a great orator, fumbled the message. But all senior figures within the hierarchy are united in their commitment to defending Iran against U.S. and Israel. Ali Larijani, another important figure in the leadership, echoed the same sentiments.
Trump does not understand that Iranians may have differences among themselves, but they are still Iranian, and they stand with Iran. The idea of breaking Iran apart will not gain their cooperation. And besides that, they have seen your history of interventions in the region. Our leaders are united on this issue and have no disagreements with one another. We have no divisions among ourselves in fighting Israel and the United States.
Meanwhile, clerics are accelerating the appointment of a new supreme leader, with a decision possible on Sunday. In Iran's unusual system, an elected president, government, and parliament are subservient to a clerically appointed supreme leader. As leader for 36 years, Khamenei held sway over the hardline and moderate factions while retaining the ultimate say. I want to discuss more. We were earlier joined by Dr. Avner Cohen, professor of non-proliferation and terrorism studies, Middlebury Institute. Here's what he had to say on the current situation.
Well, first, we see that there is lack of synchronization between the leadership and the people on the ground. It's not even clear that the central command and control centers of the Revolutionary Guards are able to coordinate all those attacks. It may be that there is cut off communication, that local commanders are being left with general commands and they follow, because obviously they continue even today with trying to aim at neighboring states, not just American targets in those states. So that's one thing. The other thing is it appears that everybody has a different sense of time, and everybody believes that their sense of time is better than the other one. The Iranians believe that they can play on a longer war, and at the end, the United States and Israel would get into attrition, we realize, of diminishing results, and will stop it perhaps under the pressure of the Gulf states. At the same time, Israel believes that Iran is losing its resources, in particular military resources and munitions. By now, they have perhaps 30% of their launchers, and very soon, possibly within a week or 10 days, they simply will be drained from those means. So there is different sense of time and the way that time, the factor of time, is working for whom. My sense is that the Iranian may not realizing how poor is their situations, because as of actually today and yesterday, Israel moved to the next phase of attacks, essentially infrastructure, military and civilian, but particularly military armaments. And they're trying to attack all the elements of the chain of productions, from the elements to the assembly, to the supply, to the storage. And it goes pretty fast. As you know, today there was a bombing of as your picture shows, of oil refineries or oil facilities.